Welcome to Deck Analysis and Testing. Today we have a look at Dragon Link. Every once in a while, some of the craziest mad scientists of the Duel Links community come up with stuff that looks just like this. Does anyone remember Block Dragon Turbo back in the good old days when grass is still at 1? What you're seeing right now is not really Dragon Link per se, it's more like Chaos Dragon Turbo, and they do a lot more than just a Link summoning. So the idea of the deck is to abuse this one particular skill that basically gives you a free Darkflare dragon on the field without any sort of cost. You just get it for free 100% of the time. And using the soft once per turn effect of Darkflare dragon to send dragons as cost from your deck to the graveyard and trigger powerful effects like our free copies of Eclipse Wyvern. The whole reason why this deck works is because the broken skill doesn't actually restrict you from special summoning any monster from your hand, so there's a lot of crazy things you are allowed to do. The version in front of you is just a free-to-play version, so there are a lot of cards we aren't actually playing, but trust me, it gets really wild in the expensive version. First, we should have a look at the skill that makes the entire deck tick. It is Spiral leading to the Dragon Champion, a fairly new skill, but for whatever reason excludes special summonings from the hand or extra deck as part of the restrictions. So usually it's only the extra deck that you're allowed to summon anything, but for this skill, you're allowed to summon from your hand. So that's why this deck is even playable. So the important part of the skill is that you can, whenever you want, get a free artillery catapult turtle from your hand or deck to your field during your main phase. Just get it out to your field. It's not even face down. You just play it face up. And what this allows you to do is play one copy of artillery catapult turtle, which you can get from the skill, and tribute itself or some other monster that you want to tribute to get a level 5 dragon monster from your hand or deck, and it will always be Darkflare Dragon. This card is insane. It's a really old card. It hasn't been around since like the first Mokuba event when he was still like limited. I remember this card back in the day. It is not once per turn in like the hard once per turn sense, in that you can send a dragon monster from your hand and one dragon from your deck to the graveyard and then banish a card from the graveyard. This sends full cost, which is insane, which means your opponent has no way of actually negating this card. You can only be stopped if your opponent pops it with a card effect. So if you go first, it's really unstoppable. And we are playing a bunch of targets for us to send to the graveyard. The best of them is, of course, Eclipse Wyvern. This card is banned in the CCG, Master Duel, everywhere else, except for Duel Links, where it is completely unlimited for some reason. I guess there just isn't a deck good enough to use this card yet, but yeah, this card is not going to stay around for long. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish a level 7 or higher light or dark dragon monster from your deck, and if this card is banished, you can add back the card that you banished to your hand. It's not once per turn, and we're playing free copies, so it's a lot of stuff that we can search with this card. And one of them is going to be our new Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This card can be special summoned from my hand by banishing a dragon, and then can revive a dragon from your graveyard. And something you can revive is Darkflare Dragon, which you can use with the effect again because it's not a hard once per turn. Some other cards you can grab are the Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon and the normal White Dragon are pretty good free-to-play big dragons that you can add to your hand. And also Galactic Spiral Dragon. Even though you can't special summon itself from the graveyard using its own effect because of your skill, but you can do it from your hand, so it's still pretty good. And also it makes all of your monsters level 8, which makes it a lot easier if you want to make any of the rank 8 Xyz monsters. And some other ways you can search those big dragons are using Black Metal Dragon, which when sent to the graveyard from your field can add any Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand. So how you will be triggering this card is you will send it to your field because your skill locks you from normal summoning it, so you must set it. So you're going to set this card and then use your skill to grab Catapult Turtle, and then use the Catapult Turtle to tribute the Black Metal Dragon instead of itself. And then after you tribute the Black Metal Dragon to summon the Darkflare, this will trigger the effect of the Black Metal and summon add to your hand the Darkness and Metal Dragon. And sometimes if you already have this in your hand, you will be able to add the Retro Dragon instead. This card is pretty much only good in the free-to-play version, because in the expensive version we have a much better target in the Meteor Dragon that you can special summon for free. But this card is fine. It's like a Dark Dragon that you can search off of Black Metal Dragon. You can normal set this card if you need, say, a Dark Dragon on the field to fusion summon using Rapid Trigger. That's something that you can do. It's not ideal, but we've only got so many Rare Ice cards to work with in the free-to-play version. And also, we were playing 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon to search the Blue Eye stuff. In the expensive version, it's a lot better because you can add Levianeer, and that card is crazy in this deck. Also searchable with Eclipse Wyvern, by the way, so a lot of ways to actually add the Levianeer to your hand. And let's see, what are we missing? Yeah, Double Disruptor Dragon is a really important piece for you to be sending with your Darkflare, because you can banish this card from your graveyard to add the Rapid Trigger to your hand. And this card is a fusion spell, so you can fusion summon a copy of Borreload Furious Dragon by fusioning with 2 Dark Dragons on your field. Let's say a Darkflare Dragon, which is a Dark Dragon, and something else. And also, when you're going second, you can also use the second effect of the skill to play a Dark Magician from outside your deck to your field face down, and then add a Poly from outside your deck to your hand. So you can use that Poly to make the Borreload Furious Dragon as well. So let's have a look at the extra deck cards. We already talked about Borreload Furious. It's part of your turn 1 board, and sometimes you make it going second to threaten your opponent's quick effects. Other stuff we're playing are Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, which you can make by fusioning using the alternative dragon on your field and a normal Blue Eyes from your hand after you already used the effect of the alternative to pop something. Amulet Dragon is very important because it is a dark, level 8 dragon that you can fusion summon with. You will be making that card using the Dark Magician you get for free when you go second, plus any dragon from your hand. Usually, in the ideal scenario, you're going to make it using an Eclipse Wyvern from your hand as another way to send it from your hand to the graveyard to trigger its own effect. And it also has a pretty nice effect to banish spells from the graveyard and boost its own attack. That doesn't usually do a whole lot to stop your opponent, but it does gain attack, and that is something. And one of the best parts about this deck is the rank 8 pull that the deck can make. We have 1 copy of Divine Dragonite Felgrand as a really strong rank 8 that you can easily obtain from the bundles. We have a copy of Xenophon the Sky Prison, really low rarity rank 8 that screws up a lot of decks. And also there's a combo where you can make this card and then make a Borreload Furious Dragon next to it. And then after you use the effect of a Xenophon, it cannot be destroyed by any card effects, including your own. So what you can do is just activate Borreload Furious, targeting the Xenophon and something your opponent controls, and then you can pop your opponent's card, and then your Xenophon will survive. Next are the 2 hieratic rank 8s that you get from the same deck build box as the Darkness Metal Dragon. Heliopolis is a pretty good target negation, and the other Heliopolis is a board wipe, basically. It's not very good because you need to tribute a whole bunch of monsters, but it is a non-targeting way to get rid of your opponent's stuff, which is usually good enough. And I forgot to mention, the reason why this deck is even possible as a free-to-play deck is because both Eclipse Wyvern and Black Metal Dragon are available from box chips, because those are pretty old cards. And for the Darkness Metal Dragons and the Hieratic rank 8s, you can get them from the deck build box pretty easily. And the only other expensive card in this deck is exactly Double Disruptor Dragon, because cards like Darkflare Dragon are completely free to obtain, the Blue Eye stuff are free, a Galactic Spiral Dragon are free, and all of the other stuff are low rarity. And for the links, we're just playing Land Rinkers and Drago Masters of Atenyi. We don't have a lot of good link targets for the free-to-play version, so that is what we are playing. But Ideally, you want to play some of the Dragon Link monsters, like the Buster Dragon Link to link away the spare catapult turtle you have on your field after you use the effect to make it turn into a dragon, and then you can link on top of it to make the Dragon Link free that needs dragon monsters as material. Okay, let's have a look at the expensive version, and oh boy, there's so many cards that you can make in this deck. It's basically a toolbox deck. You will be triggering the effect of Darkflare Dragon multiple times, and there's a lot of stuff you can send. So one of them is White Son of Legend. You can add a Blue Eyes to your hand when you send it. We're not playing it in the free-to-play version just because we don't have too many deck space for more cards. I want to stay in 20 cards because that increases the chances of us actually drawing some of our stuff that we really need to draw. But in the expensive version, we have more options. So Dawn Knight is another one that can replace an Eclipse Wyvern in your hand, because when it's sent to the graveyard from your field, when you tribute it with the Catapult Turtle, you can send the Eclipse Wyvern, and that achieves the same thing as tributing the Eclipse Wyvern itself. We're playing one Buster Whelp. This does nothing, absolutely. It's just a light dragon that you send off your link to. That's it. That's all it does. The link to... All it does is link away your turtle, and then send a free light dragon. And that's basically it for the Buster package. There's no deeper meaning of playing the Buster Whelp, it's just a light dragon that you send. We're playing whereas Black Meteor Dragon instead of the terrible Retro Dragon, because it's a free summon. You can add it to your hand with your Black Metal Dragon. It's a free Dark Dragon on your field. You can link it away. You can fusion summon it away using a rapid trigger. A lot of things you can do. I'm playing one copy of Raging Storm Dragon Beaufort IX. This card is searchable from a Thunder Dragon level 5, but we're not playing that. It's searchable by Eclipse Wyvern anyway, so there's a lot of ways you can actually add this to your hand, and all it does is that it's very annoying against Lyrilisk, and that's it. It's pretty good against Lyrilisk, and it's also pretty good going first in general. If you don't have too many cards set up, you can just prevent your opponent from winning, and then next turn just try to OTK. And of course, we're playing two copies of Chaos Dragon Levianeer, insane card going second. Going first, it's still pretty good as a free level 8, and also you can rip a card from your opponent's hand. And very, very easily searchable in this deck with your Eclipse Wyvern. In other decks, historically, you have to like kind of draw it in your hand, or somehow search it with Destiny Jewel or, you know, Melody. But in this deck, it's pretty much guaranteed that you always have a way to access the Levianeer at every single time. What else are we playing? Dark Arm Dragon is a free summon that you can search again with Eclipse Wyvern. It pops a bunch of stuff, which is really good. Star Leech Seyfert is another card you can send off of Darkflare. You can banish it from a graveyard and add back something from your graveyard. You can add something like a Levianeer. You can add Darkness Metal Dragon. You can add a lot of stuff with this. Actually, you can't add Darkness Metal. You can only usually you add a Levianeer, yeah. But in some edge cases, you might add like a Blue Eyes. It all depends on what you draw in your hand. There's no like streamline combo for this deck. It's just play whatever you have in your hand, and that's what makes this deck so fun. For the extra deck, we're playing the good old Furious Dragon and Amulet Dragon. We're also playing one copy of Mud Dragon of the Swamp, so different people have different fusion monster preferences to play in this slot, because some people play Starving Venom, some people play Dark Cavalry. There's like a lot of fusions that you can theoretically make. But I like Mud Dragon because it's easy to summon, and also it gives you target protection, which is pretty good going second to prevent your opponent from actually getting rid of any of your combo pieces. And for the rank 8s, Dingyusu is insane, and that's pretty much it. For the links, we're playing Protector Whelp. As I said, the only purpose is to link away your turtle, make it a dragon, and then send a free light dragon from your deck. And the reason why you even need dragons on your field is because discard Flash Charge Dragon needs 2+ dragon monsters, and You can make Protector Warp to turn the turtle into a dragon, and this card is good going first. And yeah, that's it. This card is part of your turn 1 end board that pops a card when your opponent summons to a link point that it points to, and Nightmare Phoenix as a generic good going second link monster. Okay, let's have a look at some replays. We're going first. Honestly, this deck really prefers going second, but in the free-to-play version, we don't really have like Levianeer and cards like that, so it's not that important that we go second. We're going first this time. We have the Melody of Awakening Dragon, so let's grab 2 Blue Eyes and start comboing. As you can see, this is pretty much a 0-card combo. You can just get the Artillery Turtle from your deck for free and then make a Darkflare. We'll send the Eclipse Wyvern and then banish the Eclipse Wyvern from grave using the effect. We'll add a Spiral Dragon to our hand, and then because we sent the Destructor Dragon, we can banish it from the graveyard to add the Rapid Trigger. Let's special summon the Blue Eyes, and then now that we have 2 dragons, we can summon the Spiral from our hand, make everything level 8, and then make a Sanafond. We'll set 1 monster and pass, and it's pretty strong against Liverlisk because they can't really special summon from grave after we use Sanafond, and it's a lingering effect, so even if they eclipse it or something, it still will work. I'm gonna make a Borlord Furious now, using the set copy of Black Metal and the Darkflare on our field. Our opponent will be making a Swallow. We can pop it and Sanafond, but as I said in the intro, Sanafond won't be destroyed by card effects, so it stays on the field and our opponent will scoop. Okay, game 2, we're going first again against another Liverlisk player. Oh boy. Let's see if we can make the same end board as last time. I believe we can. We'll do a Catapult Turtle and go and send a Eclipse Wyvern, getting ourselves access to the Spiral Dragon, and then summoning the other Darkflare by banishing the Eclipse Wyvern and then triggering its effect to grab ourselves the Spiral Dragon. We'll make a Sanafon as usual, and go Sanafon effect to send the Double Disruptor Dragon from our deck to the graveyard, grabbing ourselves a Rapid Trigger, setting the Black Metal once again, and a Rapid Trigger and passing. Our opponent this time has Book of Moon, so they can flip our monster face down. Even though that doesn't stop the lingering effect, it does stop the protection effect. So if we pop the Sanafon, it will go to the graveyard, unfortunately. But that is probably fine. Our opponent normal summons a Burrow Canary, which is a really big choke point, so I'm going to pop it immediately. Next turn we have access to Darkness Metal Dragon, so let's go and summon back the Darkflare from the graveyard and attack in for lethal. Honestly, these replays aren't really doing the deck justice, because the strength of this deck is how insane it is going second. And we're going to see that in the expensive version against our opponent playing a Dark Fluid Link. This deck can put out a lot of negates, but importantly, all of those negates don't actually destroy the monster. So there's a lot we can do even if our opponent has 4 negates and target protection. Our opponent is going to do their long Dark Fluid combo, which I will be skipping over. They also have access to Ibli, which is annoying, but we have ways to deal with that. It's a pretty cool Ibli as well. It has the Chronicle effect. And also, the skill helps a lot going second, because we just get a free Dark Magician and a free Poly that we can use. And that helps immensely to crack our opponent's board. Our opponent will be making a Fusion monster, a Ritual monster, a Synchro monster. They're going to end on a Dark Fluid plus a Quantum Dragon to protect them from targeting effects. But let's see what this deck is capable of going second. And spoiler alert, it's a lot. We're gonna first make a Link 2 to link away the Ibli, so we're actually not locked. We're gonna try to send the free Light Dragon, which he negates, which is completely fine, that does nothing. We're gonna try to summon the Black Meteor Dragon, he negates it again, which is again completely fine. It stays in our hand, which is very useful, because that means we could use it as a fusion material for Furious. We're gonna Furious to pop the Synchro, and that negates a 3rd time. And again, stays on the field, so we can use it for a extra deck summon later in the turn. We're gonna set the Black Metal, and then make the Catapult Turtle, trigger it, and then trigger the effect to grab a Darkness Metal. We're gonna pitch the useless Rapid Trigger because we already have the Fusion anyway. we're gonna go and grab Lavania and something else. We're gonna link the two away to make a flash charge just to link stuff away from our field to give us more space. You're gonna make a Lavania, and then go Chainlink 1, Eclipse Wyvern Chainlink 2, Lavania. Lavania will be popping their stuff, but not really because they have the Cyber Synchro to protect, but at least we can still pop the Synchro. And then we can Exceed Summon using the 2 level 8s on our field to make Dengirsu, send the monster to a graveyard, make it Dark Armed in case there's even more cards we need to pop, but that should be lethal, so let's just get in. And this deck is so ridiculous going second.